who you are and where do you come from?
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Nokubonga, as you've just said, and my surname is Dube. I'm married, and God blessed us with 3 boys. Um, originally, I'm from KZN, but we've now moved to Cape Town because I got a job at CPUT, and then the whole family eventually ended up coming down to Cape Town. So we now stay here in Cape Town.
Thank you so much. And tell me, what is it that you do at CPUT?
I'm a lecturer at CPUT. I work in the Department of Tourism, and I specialize in tourism development. Maybe before we continue, I'd like you to note that everything that I'm going to say here, I'm not representing my department, I'm not representing CPUT, it is my own views. So if you can just take note of that.
Tell me, what interested you into tourism as a general industry?
Okay, initially I was a teacher. So I used to work at a high school for 18 years. I was a high school teacher. And I wasn't even teaching tourism, but I was teaching geography. So I think it was around the year 2000, if I'm not mistaken, when tourism was first introduced in schools. And then my principal asked me to teach tourism. I knew nothing about tourism, but he said geography and tourism are related. So if I can teach geography, I can also teach tourism. I didn't even know where to start, but I had to work very hard. I had to get information. And then I introduced tourism at school, and then I became a tourism teacher. And then I found it so interesting in such a way that I decided to continue with my studies. And then I registered for masters in tourism. And then I also did my PhD in tourism because I just found it so interesting. And then I had to forget about geography. And then I started focusing in tourism. And thereafter, I got a job as a part-time lecturer at the University of Zululand. And then eventually I came to Cape Town and I lectured here at CPUT. So that is how I got into tourism. Yeah.
Very interesting journey. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm.
And tell me, why did you start teaching geography? What was your interest and how it elaborated into tourism?
Okay. At school, I used to do well in geography. Let me say so. I used to be the highest in every test in geography. So when when I went to the university to do my studies, I decided to major in geography. And so I became a geography teacher. And geography it also has to do with countries, it has to do with the physical environment, it also has to do with the social environment or there's human geography, there's physical geography. So all of those are related to tourism because tourism is based in nature. So in geography, we deal with nature, we deal with people. So yeah, so there is that relationship between the two. So that is why it was not that difficult for me to switch from geography to tourism because yes, in one way or the other, they are related.
Tell me, why do you think is tourism important to you, but also to South Africa?
Okay, I'll start with me. To me, tourism is important to me and my family because, at the end of the year, after we've been working so hard during the year, we think it's important for us to travel at the end of the year just to relax and to be away from work, to be away from home. So on that note, we find it so important for us as a family. And also for me, personally, I find tourism so important because, number one, um, the resources that are there in tourism, resources such as mountains, such as uh, beaches, such as protected areas, game reserves, etc., they will always be there. If we can think of resources like gold, they will eventually become depleted, finished, and many other resources. But when it comes to tourism resources, they are there, they are natural, they will never get finished. The mountain will always be there forever. So we can say there is sustainability in tourism. All we need to do is to take care of our resources. If we take good care of our resources, they will always be there. And number two, tourism generates a lot of income for the country. We get tourists coming into the country. They get to spend their dollars, their euros, their pounds. So they make bookings into our hotels. They hire cars. They go to our restaurants, etc. They spend a lot of money in the country. So in that way, I think tourism is one of the most important sectors. And also, tourism is linked to a number of other sectors like transport, agriculture, etc. So it creates job opportunities for so many people. And also tourism has if you are in the tourism industry, anyone can start his own business, a small business, especially because in our country we've got a problem of employment. The unemployment rate is high in the country. So anyone can just start his small Shisanyama business, his own, can even turn one of the rooms at home into an Airbnb. If you have a small car, you can use it as an for Uber, etc. So I think tourism has got too many opportunities, and it generates a lot of money for the country, and it has these entrepreneurial opportunities even for everyone. Let me say so. Yeah. So I think it's one of the important, very important economic activity in the country.
That is so true, Nokubonga. With the current state that tourism is in due to COVID-19, what would you say around that our borders are closed, that there are so many things happening in people and women and youth losing their jobs? What is your opinion on that?
It's so sad. It's really sad because we never thought things would be like this, but it has happened. But the good thing is we are now in stage 2, at least, and we are hoping that very soon we'll be in stage 1. So we are hoping that some of the businesses have already started functioning again. So I would say we should not lose hope because we can see things are starting to get better as we are now in stage number 2. All I can say is that I am hoping that things will, even though I cannot say will get back to normal, but slowly things will eventually get better. So I can say I am hoping that we'll begin to see, especially domestic tourism, taking off now. I am hoping we'll start to see people starting to appreciate their country and the beauty of their country, and that people will start traveling now within their country, because by so doing, we will be boosting small businesses in the country, within the country. So I would encourage women in the country to have confidence in themselves, not to look down upon themselves, to grab the opportunities, to do whatever they can to empower themselves, and to be ready to even to occupy high positions in companies. So we as women, we need to stand up, we need to be ready to empower ourselves in such a way that we are ready to lead, we are ready to occupy those high positions in companies, in businesses. Yeah, and to our youth, I would encourage them to study. They need to study and they need to be well equipped. And also, yeah, so that they will be able, without any fear, without any doubt, to apply for those top positions in companies.
what motivation could you give to women that has been affected by the lockdown and losing their jobs?
That we should not give up, we should stand up, we should be able to, we should be willing to grab every opportunity that comes our way. We should not look down upon ourselves. We should make sure we empower ourselves, as I've just said, and grab the opportunities, apply for those high positions. Because most of the time, we women, we just sometimes tend to look down upon ourselves, and sometimes we lack confidence. But I'd like to say we should not look down upon ourselves. We should not, we must just have confidence. We must grab opportunities and apply for those high positions.
Thank you so much, Nokubonga. If you had a power line through to the president, what would you ask them on behalf of women in tourism and youth in tourism?
Oh my goodness. First of all, I would ask the president to make sure he deals with corruption in the country. Because if there was no corruption, our country would not be where it is now. Because some of the money that will be used to empower women it disappears. All right, so that will be point number one, to ask the president to deal with corruption. And number two, I would ask the president to empower women, to create opportunities for women. Maybe in the way of scholarships, in the way of training, and also to support businesses that are run by women, and also to create conducive environment for women to be able to start their own businesses. So, because sometimes we as women, we do not have those skills and funding to start our own businesses. So I would urge the president to fund women to start their own businesses, and also to empower them to be able to run those businesses, and to provide our young women with scholarships, with bursaries, to study further, and to train and to be empowered. And not to forget women in rural areas. Women in rural areas and townships as well need to be taken care of. Yes.
Wow, I would hope that he would listen to you saying that. Last question. What are your greatest hopes for after the lockdown lifts? Like, we are currently in level 2, but we are hoping that things will get better. What are your greatest hopes?
Yeah, I'm just hoping that soon we will be in level 1, and that businesses will function, and yeah, I'm hoping that we will soon be seeing visitors, international visitors, coming into the country and spending money in the country. And so I really wish that the country will do whatever it can to make sure that we are ready to receive those tourists as they will be coming into the country, and also that local people will be encouraged to travel within the country, and also that opportunities will be created in the local communities for tourists to go into these local areas, so as to boost the economy of the local areas. So yeah, tourism should not only be in the cities, in big cities, in towns, but even in these local areas, local communities. I'm hoping that opportunities will be created for tourists to go there as well, to experience the culture, to interact with local people. And by so doing, those people will learn and will be able to start their own businesses in their communities, and will be able to change their lives there in the communities. So that is just what I'm hoping to see.